First story, I got to talk about this PlayStation 5. I said nothing about it. There was no tweet. I said nothing. I was following along, of course. But we were on a bit of a hiatus when the whole thing broke and people started to talk about it. So I got to cover it a little bit. Of course, the radical design that some people were a little bit unsure that it was actually going to come out looking like this.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
I mean, I remember here's the thing, Will. Here's the thing. Ever since the Cybertruck, I'm sure about nothing.
Anything's possible.
Because we're at a point now. Once upon a time in the old days, you saw a concept version of something and it was meant to be a concept. You thought to yourself, it'll never look like that. It's a fun thing to play around with. And of course, if you were to have shown people this render here, that image that you're looking at right there, if you showed that to people the day before the actual event, they said, nah, no way, it'll never look like that. Mm-hmm. And Sony says, guess what? It looks like that. And I think we're in an era right now where it's hard to knock people. It's hard to snap them out of it. They're so deep and entrenched in their thing that they're doing on the daily. And you got to wake them up every so often. That's what that thing is. Now, am I saying it's the prettiest thing I ever saw in my life? Am I saying I like the Stormtrooper thing? Am I saying I want a black and white console? I didn't say any of those things. But I like to be slapped in the face every so often.
Really?
It'll wake you up, Will.
I hear you.
It'll wake you up.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what Sony did to a certain extent, just by going with it, the thing that they weren't supposed to do, the intimidating approach of saying we're going to do something that some people might hate. Because I'll tell you what, Will, if you're going to make anything, if you're going to make something that you hope for some people to love, you're going to have to prepare yourself for the fact that some people are going to hate it. It's part of the gig. You don't make any type of statement. See, Microsoft did the opposite. They say, here is your rectangle, sir.
Yeah, the monolith.
Please enjoy your rectangle.
Yeah.
Now, hey, man, you know me. I'll take a rectangle all day.
It's very stackable.
It's just the most direct approach to the industrial design. Hey, we have all these things. We have all these components we have to fit. How about a rectangle? But the thing is, no one can hate a rectangle. It's expected. It's the status quo. These things have been rectangles. Your PC is some sort of a rectangle. Your router is some sort of a rectangle. See, that's the thing I heard, Will. That's the criticism. People said that the new PlayStation looks like a router. I'm saying that looks like a router too.
In a way, yeah.
Everything looks like a router because routers have looked like everything.
Yes.
At one point or another. Router design is wild. They're like sports cars now, routers. They look like a Lambo. Routers. They're so fast these days, routers. I don't know if you knew that. Well, anyway, so there's some news here, regardless of how I feel. I'm fine with it. Whatever. I don't know. Take a chance. So be it. I'll probably get it. I will get it just because I've had every single PlayStation. I don't mind this thing being distinctive. I think they should probably at some point do a black version, which will subdue some of the language a little bit for those that want something a bit more conservative. I'm a bit concerned with the lack of stackability. I've heard of this. There are PlayStations in my house with pyramids built atop them of various componentry and gadgetry, even in some cases, a gaming monitor right on top of a PlayStation. That exists in my house at the moment. That's a thing that happens. So it seems like Sony has been trying to get us to stand our PlayStation upright for the last 10 years. And it's never really it's never worked out that everyone has done so. Maybe this is the model, though it does appear that you can stack it the other way. I like the charging dock, the look of the charging dock. I'm excited about a new controller just because it's a new controller. And I like the family setup, you can have the whole Stormtrooper look all at once over there. Now, the article I chose here is actually giving a little bit more detail. It's a bit more current because obviously people have heard the ranting and the raving about the design of the PlayStation. There's some good news apparently in the backwards compatibility terms that people are always very concerned with when a new console comes out. They say, do you care about backwards compatibility? I got games here. I got games. An inventory of games. I don't know who these people are. I can't go back and play all these games.
Really?
Can't do it.
Oh.
I can play the new game for a bit. That's the level I'm at this stage in my life. I can play. I got people. They'll never let me play some. I'm going to go play,
You don't want to bust out like Uncharted 2 or something?
They won't let you get away with it. Your kids won't let you get away with it.
Oh.
You
Really?
try to say, no, Dad really wants to play this game right now. It's like, yeah, right. Just smack you right in the face.
With the controller?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't recommend. No, that doesn't happen. Making a bad name for him here. But I'm just saying, you're busy. I'm outdoors. I'm playing basketball in the driveway.
Are you really?
I'm getting a shot back.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting the dribbles back. I'm getting a shot back.
Triple doubles?
I'm schooling them. I have the advantage out there.
Well, yeah.
Schooling them.
You got the height.
I got the advantage out there. They're well aware. So I play 2v1, and I also play defense with my hands in my pockets. So that's a way to level it out. My defense is my hands, no arms. I got to just use the body.
Just body check?
No body checking, just positional.
I see.
Because they're small.
I hear you.
Those people are small.
Yes.
So it's an advantage. So apparently 4,000 games are being tested for backwards compatibility. And we also determined potentially the weight of the device. There was an Amazon listing that leaked the console. They show us the console and it's still the leaking. Everyone's leaking all over the place still.
Now it's just like the specs, right?
Spec leaks and packaging leaks and you know how that all goes. But there was a listing. It came up 10.5 pounds on Amazon France. That's for the actual shipping weight. So you got to take the box out of your mind and whatever other accessories are in there. But it gives you a rough idea of the scale of the thing. I don't know how useful that is. Does that matter to anyone? But it makes for an article because people are pumped about next generation consoles in 2020. People just want some kind of news like this, man. Yeah. They want to get the focus going somewhere else. And these consoles have allowed for that to a certain extent. And I got to say, I'm happy that particularly the PlayStation console has at least an iconic kind of thing going on where it's got people talking, at least. It's not just another box, but look at the people making fun of it. You see how that goes? Well, you take a chance. You're in the design department. A guy like you, Will, you would have been there. You would have been in the room with the Photoshop and all the rest of it, and you would have come up with this, and it would have been your magnificent life's work. And then you get the meme factory goes to town on you, and you have a couple tears roll down your cheek.
Well, there's some really good ones here.
There's nothing wrong with that one. You can feel good about that one, but I'm talking more the top one.
Oh yeah.
You see that they're making fun of you there.
I mean,
the PS5 looks like in a new expensive campus performing arts center that replaced 3 academic arts departments and cost $60 million. It's like the OCAD building downtown. Where it's this big statement piece of architecture.
Very abstract.
And the usefulness of it or the practicality of it is up for questioning, definitely. And that you can't do that with Xbox's design. You say it's a rectangle. Of course it is. Utilitarian. Here we go. And I got to say, as much as I applaud them for this, there's something super comfy about a rectangle, a black rectangle. It's warm and cuddly. I'll tell you what. You can put it there and you don't have to deal with anyone's questions. You don't have to be questioned like you just questioned me.
Yeah.
So
this is definitely a timeless
I see it from both sides.
Rectangle.
I see it from both sides. Yeah. It's no fun though, Will. Imagine you were in that department and you came with the black rectangle drawing and you're like, wait. You're like, you got the whole room. You got the whole boardroom and you just slide that into the center of the table. And they're like, that, sir, is a black rectangle. And then you look at them and you say, exactly.
Everyone's like, woo.
Will he do, ladies and gentlemen? Are we
like-
back or what? Holy.